double check that the sound is functioning. We're hoping it is. Here's hoping. Any second now. Hey. Audio is functional. Wonderful. Alright, let me just collect my paints and we'll get started. Get that out of the way. Alright, cool. So, today I'm going to be painting a Drukhari Wrack with a Liquifier gun. When I thought about this earlier, I figured I just really like how this model looks. It's not really relevant in the meta currently. Definitely not OP or anything. And, just figured not getting a lot of love recently. None of the top players really even look at these models, so I figured I'd paint one. So I'm starting off with T'Challa Lilac, and this is going to be the color of his skin. I wanted something a little weird for the skin color of these guys. And with the wash we're going to put on them later, this purple will look suitably weird, I think. So I'm just going to apply this on all the skin. And I think I'm going to do this paint job without any contrast paints, just to mix it up a little bit. I might throw one in there, depending on what happens later in the paint job, but for now, I'm not going to use any. And so because I'm not using any contrast paint, or few contrast paints, I can afford to be a little messier on these beginning steps, because the next paint will just paint right over it. So I'm not as worried about painting in the lines and stuff like that. Just getting the color down. Then after this hand, we just have the back of his head. And that'll be... I missed the spot right there. And then that'll be all the skin done. Alright, so there we go. There's his skin. Alright, now we're going to do his leather, which is his kind of skirt thing here, as well as his pants. And then the things around his wrists, we're going to do those in Mournfang Brown. Nice dark brown, kind of, well, not really dark brown, maybe like a chestnut brown, give or take. And I think it'll go well with the rest of the color scheme. Alright, we appear to be returning to normal. That's better. Okay, let's get back to what we were doing here. Painting the leather. So I'm going to paint his entire foot down here. Just call it boots. Makes everything easier. Alright, and then we just have these little things on his wrists here. There we go. Alright, now I think I'll do the metal on him. For this, I'm going to actually start off with gold. Retributor armor specifically. And then I'm going to come back and highlight it with a sort of, with a darker silver. And I'm hoping that gets the effect I want once I put the ink wash over the top of it. But we'll see. So I'm just painting all the metal with this. It's going to be a fairly extensive process. It's always that one part of a paint job that takes the long quickly. So if they're this one's actually plugged in again, and we've got the gun here. Art, because the go juice is going to be green later. Oh, I forgot this hand. I did the back of the hand. I didn't do the front of the hand. Oh, it's okay. I'll come back and fix that in just a second. Just make sure all these parts of the gun that need to be gold are put in gold. There we go. All right. Let's do, just trying to think of the next color I want to do here. I think I want to do the bone next. Actually, no, let's do the pure silver next. Some of the bone butts right up against the gold we just did. We don't want to mix them, so let's do Grey Knight Steel, and this is going to be for the weapon blade. He's got a knife hanging from his belt. We'll also do that in this color. First, yes, congratulations, Dylan. Not the first viewer, but you are the first comment. So I will congratulate you on that. I guess you could have just delayed your first declaration for later. That's true. I was just assuming that that is not indeed what you did. There's something else. Oh, this chain. I wanted to do that in silver as well. There we go. And then he's got these little parts around his wrist guards here. Just going to paint those in silver. Almost time to get a new paintbrush here. Been using this one extensively recently and it's just worn out just a little too much. But it'll hold out until this paint job is over. I can't wait to see the seafoam green. There is actually seafoam green on this miniature. You're in luck. Quite a bit, actually. In fact. And then he's got this knife hanging from his belt back here. And I'll just block that in with this silver. Hot damn, yeah, exactly. And then the thing that it's hanging from, I'll make that silver as well, just to be simple. Right there. Oh, and then the side of the knife here. There we go. Alright, then we'll just grab a random color. Gorthor brown looks good. And we'll put that, he's got a little bag on the side of his hip here. We'll just paint that in with this color. He's got another knife here on the front. Okay. We'll get our silver right. Well, actually, when we highlight our gold, we'll do it then. Make it even easier. So now we're going to use Screaming Skull. And do these bones back here. Just being careful of the gold we've already done. And being careful of the purple as well. But if they get a little overlapped, it's not a big deal because going straight from skin to bone like this, if there's a little bleed over of the skin color, it's not a problem. And if there's a little bleed over of the bone color, we might just be seeing the bones through the skin. So, not a big deal. Just make sure we get all of this here. Alright, and then we're just going to double check that there's no other bones on him. I don't think there are. Nope, there are not. That I see anyway. So we're going to touch up his hand real quick. And then go on to the green. There we go. Alright, so now what Dylan likes to call the seafoam green, but is actually Sybarite green. This is going to go on all the cabling, the wires, in the syringes, on the gun, basically all over him. So he is powered by this what I call go juice, and that's the color of it, so it's flowing through all these wires and stuff. They named it wrong, they're bad. Wow. I'll be sure to let them know. So in this part of the gun right here, it kind of looks like a power pack of some sort. We're going to put it there. And then along these two wires here, making sure to get all sides of these cylinders. Which can be kind of annoying to reach sometimes, but we'll make it work. Go all the way up to this cable, I think. Like that. As if it's sort of a transparent piece of this pipe. It's being colored by the liquid inside of it. And then all these power cell things, whatever these are, they're going to be this color as well. He's got a couple more on his skirt here. There we go. And then in the syringes on his back, there we go. Alright, so I think that's all instances of Go Juice on him. Send him a tweet. Yeah, I'll do that. Alright, that's all instances of that. So now we're going to take the dark silver I talked about earlier. Pick up the right pot of it. And we're going to highlight the gold with this, which is counterintuitive. Obviously, this is a darker color. You don't highlight light colors with dark colors. But the Dark Eldar are kind of weird. And so I'm hoping that it's going to work. So I'm just going to sort of brush over some parts and edge highlight others. Leaving some gold behind, but not all of it. And I can be kind of messy with it, just to kind of get the idea that maybe it once was gold and now it's been a little messed up, but still has some of this shine to it. And then we're going to put the ink wash on. And that will help even further, I hope. The back sides of these armor plates here. There we go. And then the syringes. Alright. Oh, got a couple more spots here and here. I think it looks what I was attempting to capture. I could have maybe done it reverse and edge highlighted the silver with the gold, but I didn't want the gold on the edges. I wanted the gold kind of just mixed in with the silver. So I thought this would be a better way to do it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. I think it worked how I was hoping. So now I'm going to take some Null Oil and apply it to the miniature. I'm just going to go with a crazy big brush here because I want it everywhere, but I am going to pull it back off. Let's do a hair dry real quick. We did just apply the silver. We don't want it mixing. I'm going to mute real quick, and we'll use the hashtag not sponsored Revlon hairdryer to dry this miniature. There we go. Dylan always so angry that his ad doesn't get played. I told him what he has to do to get it played, but no, he just doesn't follow instructions. All right, here we go. Now we're going to do the Null Oil. So we're going to do this pretty heavy to start off with, and then we might pull it back off a couple places. But the skin has so much detail on it that you can really put it on quite heavy and it still looks pretty good. This is sort of like, the skin is sort of like a musculature with no skin on it. Even though I just called it skin, but it's kind of what we're looking at here. And so the ink goes in and does a great job, I think. So now we can see, though, the silver and the gold with the ink wash, I think, works on the gun quite well. And I think it works on the armor, too, to be honest. Just get a little bit of that golden shine, but the gun, it doesn't look gold. It just has some of the golden shine to it. Make sure to get all those parts. Alright, so that'll be good for that. Oh my goodness, it's your responsibility. I'm the consumer. McDonald's didn't come to me for the McRib. They figured it out, and thank Barack they did. Okay, back to the hashtag non-sponsored Revlon hairdryer. Still with no Dylan Ed. I swear your cutting mat is in focus more. Yeah, the cutting mat does like to be in focus. The detail, the camera thinks the detail is important. Alright, so now I'm going to take the same color that I did the skirt and pants with, Mornfang Brown, and I'm just going to re-highlight it with this color now that we've inked it to be much darker. But I'm not going to actually highlight the pants. I'm just going to highlight the edge of the cloak along this edge that's kind of tattered here. A little bit more than an edge highlight because I'm going farther in than just the edge. But sort of the same principle here. Going maybe, I don't know, 1/3 of a centimeter up maybe. And then just on these flatter parts, just a tiny little overbrush onto them. And I'm going to do it on the wrist guards here as well, just paint right in the middle of them. Give them a little more definition. And then we're going to take our Grey Knight Steel again and highlight just a couple things. So he's got some little hooks down here in the bottom of his cloak. We'll highlight those. What is he holding? It looks like he's holding a hammer like a gun. This, he's holding a knife in this hand and a liquifier gun in this hand is what it's called. So these spikes, I'm going to just do the tips of them in this silver. And then just along this cable or this chain here, I'm going to do a little bit of highlighting. And on the knives here that are hanging down. There we go. That looks pretty good. Liquifier gun, fancy. Yep, quite fancy. Now I'm going to take some Tesseract Glow and I'm going to put this on the green. Normally you might put this on pretty heavily. I'm not going to put it on heavily in this case because I still want that underlying seafoam green to come through. But I want it to be brightened up just a bit by this Tesseract Glow. So I'm just going to put that on here like this. And I know it might look like the seafoam green is getting covered, but trust me, if it wasn't there, you'd notice a huge difference. So we are still seeing quite a lot of that seafoam green underneath this color. Just gonna get it there. Oh, he's got another cable on his other shoulder here. Perfect. And then I'm going to take some Fenrisian Gray. Oh yeah, look at that liquify. Yep. Just going to take some of this Fenrisian Gray and just put it in a couple places right along his chest here. This is just to make this skin look a little bit weirder. Dissonant highlights like this, so highlighting a purple with a blue, I think makes things look a little like otherworldly or weird. And he's kind of a Frankenstein's monster sort of thing, so that's what I want. So I'm just picking out a couple of the muscle structures, not all of them, and just putting this on it. I don't want too much in one area because I still want this reading as purple, but with just this bluish gray in a couple places. Alright, and with that, I think he's done. I'm not going to highlight any of the bone. I want that bone dulled down quite a bit. Let's see if I can change the light here a little bit. Get it more. There we go. Sup, you Wazzix? Why are we getting called Wazzix? Bone looking bone dry? Well, that's good. That's how it's supposed to look. I don't know why we're getting called Wazzix, but hello, Ryan. I'm just in time for the finish. Hey, yep. Yep, not doing the base on stream today. I will, actually. I will paint it black so that... Alright. There was much seafoam green today, Ryan. You missed it. I'm sorry to say. I am going to paint the base black, but I don't know how this army's going to get based yet. And there's nothing worse than spending some time on a base and then having to rip it all off. That really annoys me. So I'm just not going to do any basing. I'm just going to paint it black to give it a decent backdrop for a photo. There we go. But in lieu of basing, what can I show you? Oh, okay, here we go. In lieu of basing, actually not in lieu of basing, I can do some basing. I have a model that needs to be based. And I know how that's going to be based, so it'll be great. Let's see. Saint Guthans. Wow. Dylan ever get his gift? Yes, he did. It was foamtastic. Excellent. Alright, so this guy's done. We did it. Now we'll base this other guy. Who's from a completely different army. This is a converted mutilator that I'm using for my World Eater army. He was an Ambot, and now he's a mutilator. And as you can see, he needs to be based. So let's do that real quick. First, yes indeed, but Ambot who's now a mutilator, not just any old Ambot. That look like Borgin from Amy's Artists Group. I don't know what. Oh, sure. Sounds good. So first, Elmer school glue. Very important. We're going to take some of that. And we're going to put it in a couple clumps here on the base. Just kind of haphazardly. Not important where they go. As long as they go. Just don't want to get it on the model itself. That looks good. And right there, just a little one. A little bigger. There we go. Look, I've been getting into Necromunda hard time. Need to get me some of those bad boys. Yeah, I picked up a bunch of them to turn into mutilators because Amy will not be pleased. Because I just can't stand the mutilator models. They're so old and outdated that... Alright, then we're taking some... yes. Of course we can see what this is. This is some light green grass. That's what I'm calling it. It's from the Army Painter. I apparently... Oh, this is fun. He's stuck in the... There we go. And we're just going to dunk him in this grass, making sure the grass gets on the glue that we put down. Tap off any extra. Anyone who has grass that green is feeding it meth. Good to know. Today I learned. All right, so then I'm going to blow off the extra. What's the wrench next to your name, Dylan? Yeah, wrench means he has the power. Yes, that is true. He is eagerly awaiting the day when a spammer comes in here and he gets to ban them. Alright, so now we're going to use a combination of 2 tufts. Dense green from Gamer's Grass. Light green from the Army Painter. Super glue from the Army Painter. It does not have to be Army Painter. It can be any super glue. And I'm just going to take a tuft here. I kneel before the power. Oh, God. Dylan's starting a cult in chat. Just going to push that down on there. I don't need 2. And put another one down on there. And then we'll just get one of these dense green ones. And put it down here or so. That works. Yeah, that'll do. Then we'll just chuck these tufts out of the way here. Get our Black Templar. The Cult of Seafoam Green. Yeah, you're not wrong. You are not wrong. I've painted the... You could paint your Necromunda gang as the Cult of Seafoam Green. That would be cool. I've painted the Delac gang. I've painted the Escher gang. I've painted the big guys. I forgot their name. Goliath. That gang. And I feel like I've painted some more, but I can't think off the top of my head now. Just painted the base from black, if I didn't mention that. But yeah, the Necromunda models are great. Mutilator models suck. I joined those 2 ideas together. Ambot Mutilators were born. Better hear Orlocks. I'm looking up what an Orlock looks like because I don't remember. Okay, well that didn't work. Orlock Necro. There we go. Orlock. Oh, yeah. The basic, well, I won't say basic because that'll probably offend you. The kind of normal-ish looking human guys. Yes, I've painted a group of them. Alright, so his base is done. That was easy. This model is done. The Drukhari Wrack. And then here's the base on the Mutilator who was born from an Ambot. So, yes, they're basic. That's why they're awesome. More strength, no weaknesses. Perfect. Dylan trying to get me in trouble. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'm starting to think that I'm not going to stream on Fridays. Things keep coming up that are preventing me from streaming on Fridays. So I might just say stream on Mondays and Wednesdays only, but we'll see how it goes for the future. So I will say I might be back this Friday. But if not, I will definitely be back next Monday. Thank you everybody for watching, and I will see you next time.